Those assembled arise and stand to greet the arrival of the German Führer.
Erleben können, dass die nationalsozialistischen Prophezeiungen keine Phrasen sind. Das ist die Druckmacht, der wir all dieses Unglück verdanken, das internationale Judentum. Sie werden sich nur erinnern an die Reichstagssitzung, in der ich erklärte, wenn das Judentum sich etwa einbildet, einen internationalen Weltkrieg zur Ausrottung.
My girls, it is time for us to say our goodbyes.
But Papa, I thought we would see you off when you get on the train.
It will be late. Why don't you and Bertel go ahead and clear up the table? Now, it will not be a long separation, I promise you.
Eva, why does Father have to be so secretive?
He thinks it'll be better for us.
I don't want to miss my last chance to see him.
You must stop being silly. You heard what Papa said. It won't be too long. Perhaps only 2 or 3 months, and then we will all be together in America.
Believe me, it is for you that I am leaving.
And the Germans were having another action for the Poles. They were making new identity cards for all Poles. And all this was done so no Jew would slip through their finger, you know. And they were making these identity cards. And that guy Staszek, who is on the cover of my book, he was a printer. And his father was a printer. And he was able to forge for us birth certificates. And then we applied in these names for these new, they were white, for the new white ID cards that were issued to the Polish population. So my mother became my aunt. My name was Krystyna Żukoś, and my mother's name was Jadwiga Dębicka. And my sister was her daughter, but her papers never came. My mother is going, she's putting on a kerchief, she's putting on something. I said, where are you going? She said, I'm going to get my sister and her son. I said, you can't do that. Well, you don't tell my mother what she can do. She said, I said, I tried to explain to her what Menek did for us. And that we're doing a terrible thing to that Warek. My mother said, without her sister and her son, she is not going. She taught me about loyalty, didn't she? That night, that same night, we packed very little bundles, no suitcases. And I was a leader. It was dark. And I tried to remember exactly. And I did everything right. A little detour, but then I found my way. But the house, I couldn't remember. It was just another peasant house with a fence outside, you know. And the patrol passed by, and we were hiding. It was pretty tough. But eventually there were dogs barking because we were hanging around. And then a door opened, and I knew that was him. And we came in, and he saw there weren't 3 of us, there were 5 of us. That was really, including my aunt and my cousin. We were there a number of days, and I think on maybe by Wednesday, I mean, he was really coming on. And my sister had worked for such an ethnic German in a a motor overhauling place that overhauled German motors for trucks. He was an ethnic German. And he had also said to my sister that she was very good, also German correspondence, that she was very good and that he was going to, he knows what's going on and he doesn't approve of it and he thinks it's terrible and what they're doing to the Jews and it's a bad thing and he was going to help her. And not to worry, he was going to help her. So my sister wanted to go there because he had access to trucks that could get us out of town. And my mother didn't want to. I mean, really didn't want to. All right, these were the times, and my sister insisted, and eventually my mother gave in. And she went, and the arrangement was that she would go to the boss, and then the next morning she would meet with Wadek, and she would tell him whether to bring us or what decisions have been made. But the next morning, when she met with Wadek, she had gone to his house, and the wife said that he is not home. He went somewhere with a truck to deliver, and he will be home the next day. So when my sister met Wadek, she was sleeping somewhere under a bridge. The next day, she said she needs another day. And then supposedly on the next day, he was supposed to be back at the office where my sister used to work. And my sister was camouflaged, kerchief. She took off her eyeglasses, she wore glasses. And my sister went there to his office. And they picked her up on the street. And in the morning, about 11, and then Vada came home that night and he told us.
So the Germans had found her?
And there were, to this day, I mean, we really don't know, but they say there was a truck, sort of with an aluminum roof. In those days, they had already trucks where they put poison gas from the top, and there were also shots, and they two more people were caught at the same time. It was known in town. Eva Weisberger was caught, and Mr. Hausner and Salek Weinfeld. So 3 people were caught. 3 Jews were caught that morning.